Okay, first, I just want to start talking about, um, so this is Etsy, and this is one of the shops that I purchased my SVG files from. Now, keep in mind that not all files that you can purchase from Etsy is created equal. I have purchased some bad files. The good thing is that they don't cost, $50 like a die, or, they're usually anywhere from a few dollars up to, 10 or $15. It depends on what you're purchasing. So, the theme for our blog party is going to be Cinco de Mayo. She is a Spanish designer, so I knew right away that she was going to have something, and she did. But she is a star seller, which is important when you purchase from Etsy, because that means she responds to your emails, she fixes problems, all that. Excuse me. So her name is By Yeni. And I've already went through her designs, but I just wanted to kind of show you how it's laid out. So here's Valentine's, here's Christmas. Christmas is the one that I use the most. Like these right here will be in my store at my craft fair come this fall, or come fall to Christmas time, something like that. Um, but what we're doing is for Cinco de Mayo. But I just wanted to kind of let you know that, as you see here, your file's going to come as a zip file. She's going to give you video instructions step by step how to put things together. You can cut with pretty much any kind of machine. Now, there are different, for these different, I call them ornaments. The one we're doing today sits up on the table, but the ball itself that goes in the where you put the candy it's a Christmas ornament that comes in half. You buy them at the dollar store. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, all those places. Even probably Walmart has these. Now, of course, they're seasonal. You'll probably be able to get them year round on Amazon. Seasonal for Hobby Lobby comes in way before the regular Christmas season, like Walmart. So you wouldn't necessarily have to wait till Christmas. The best time to get them is when Christmas is almost over, or Christmas is over, and you can get them on the clearance price, because whatever's in the store, they're trying to get out of there to, bring on the next thing. But anyways, just so you want to, for her, she sells different. This specific one, it has the iris shutter. If you go on here and you look, this is an iris shutter where it opens and closes to put the candy in. I just wanted to show you that because we're not going to do this one. This one is a little, in my opinion, tedious to put together. If you're trying to make money at a craft fair, this one, it slows you down putting it together. I'm not going to lie. It's very, very slow process to put together. So if you're making, like for me, I make hundreds of these for craft fairs. I did some, let me see if I can find the one for Halloween. Um, you can't see it, but I have a little thing floating on my computer that's recording the screen, and I have to keep moving it. So I'll show you the one I did for Halloween. She may have changed it already because she only gets better. But I did a ghost. I have done this 3D box ghost, and then these are the ones that I did for Halloween one year. I made 300 of these for all my trick-or-treaters. This one as well has the iris. I purchased the file with two different openings. Let me see if I can find her different openings. Basically, there's one that you can just rip the back. It's what do you call that? Corrugated, to where you can just rip it. Some people don't like that because they spend the money to buy this ornament. They want to reuse it every year. But let's just get to what we're going to make today, which is I'm going to click on Mexico, and we're going to make this cute guy right here. And I'm going to show you. So this one comes with a door opening. So this means you can reuse it. And I'm going to show you that right here, the video. And she's going to flip that over, and so you can just put your candy in. Now, of course, if you use this, you're not going to be able to use real super duper heavy candy because it will fall out. But this does sit on the table, so I think you can get away with it. I think these are really cute for the what I'm going to do, which is our Cinco de Mayo block party theme. But basically, all you're going to do is you're going to add this to your cart. I already have added it to my cart. So we're going to go to view my cart and check out. Now you can use whatever, Visa, MasterCard, whatever. I always use PayPal. PayPal is just my safe way of purchasing things. Okay, it's asking for a code. So I was not prepared for that. So I'm going to pause. So because I do run a business, I have to where I have to have a code. So here I'm just placing my order. I'm clicking OK. I'm placing the order for this. And I will give you a little secret with Etsy. If you want to buy something, put it in your cart, come back the next day to purchase it, and I guarantee, well, I can't guarantee, but I will, for the most part, there's always going to be a coupon the next day. There's something about when things sit in your cart, it keeps the sellers from, it brings down their rating or something. So it's just a little secret about that. Um, so it says, thanks for your order. And we're just going to go download now. And then my computer has a thing on here where it's scanning to make sure it's not a virus. Sometimes it takes a little time to download, but for the most part, it should be right there. And this is going to come as a zip file. Now I got to pull this over. I have two computer screens and I don't have it set up to I don't have it set up to video. I don't have it set up to video both screens. So now I'm going to, it comes as a compressed file. That's just so your file is oh, what did I do? Where'd it go? Well, it's halfway over. Sorry. My other screen is much bigger. Okay. So you're going to click here and we're going to extract it. Now I have on my desktop, I have a file for all of my Etsy files. So I'm going to go to my desktop and this is all my Etsy SVG files. I'm going to save it here and then we're going to extract it. Okay, so here's all of our files. So let's see. Here's the files right here. So you have the instructions in English that you can click on and you can print those, or I have a book, it has the photo and has like all the, different notes and things that they have on here. It'll have probably how you're allowed to use it and all that. I normally will print these just to keep them in my book and remind me what files I have because I have so many. I definitely will at least have this and the name of the file. Now, if it's something that I or that I do every year or something like a craft fairs like this, I probably won't ever make again unless I'm invited to a party somewhere else or something. But this is the actual SVG file, but we can click out of this because we don't need any of this anymore. We're going to pull it up through Cricut. So now I'm going to log into my Cricut machine, or I should say the Cricut software. Excuse me. Sometimes it takes a while. Okay. So usually this is just like their advertisement of what's going on. Now, I will tell you, Cricut has changed a whole lot since I have from the last time I used it even. They have so many updates. I generally don't do a lot on my Cricut unless it has to do with my craft fairs. Or one of the kids in my family needs a t-shirt or something like that. I really don't. I mean, I use it specifically for that year round, but I'm clicking on new project. I'm just going to do a blank canvas. So now we're going to go down here to upload. Oh, sorry. Click upload. And these are all the things that I've uploaded in the past that are here. I have not purchased this file. This is something else that I was working on. I believe this was for the girls for Easter. I made that. Some treat boxes or something for Easter. So we're going to upload. Now we're going to click browse. And I'm going to go right back to my desktop and I'm going to find that Etsy SVG files. Here it is, the cactus. And we're going to click on the SVG, click on the SVG again, and it's going to bring it here. Okay, wait a minute. Browse. Let's try that again. Desktop. They're all different, so you have to practice. SVG. Okay, let's just see what happens because sometimes they'll put things across here they want to make sure you know. Um, all right, so here we're going to save. Okay, so I'm just going to put belly. Treat. Or I'm just going to put belly, treat, Cinco de Mayo. These are just tags to where you can find it better. And then, I don't know. I don't think well, I will save it over here, but I'm going to create something and I'm just going to put belly. I put belly because most of the ones that I do have like like in the belly of the center, like Santa, and I did a gingerbread one year, and we are just going to upload and save. Sometimes they're really big files, so they take a while. Okay, so they want you to read the instructions. You need to ungroup and delete this message. So ungrouping, I know you can come. I generally just right click and it'll say, so this thing is over my screen. You guys cannot see it, but I can. And click up ungroup. I believe you can come over here to layers and ungroup too, but I'm not sure. But all we're going to do is just completely, then you click off of it, click back on this and click delete on your keyboard. That's all you do. This is telling you that it's an 8 centimeter, an 8 centimeter sphere, or the ornament is 8 centimeters. I'm going to click on that and delete that as well. We don't need that. So now some of these, see how they're all like every layer comes apart now? Um, that's good, but sometimes you have ones like this that you need to click on. And let's see, looks like she's already attached them. Some files that you'll buy whenever there's a dotted line like this, the score marks, sometimes it depends on who you buy them from. Yeni is pretty good. By Yeni is pretty good. So this is already done for you. But I'm just showing you that all these different layers come apart. These are all the different layers that you're going to cut on your machine. And basically this has, you can go up here and save, which we've already done that pretty much. But I just wanted to show you that if you had something you were working on, other than that, you could save it. Now I have to get this thing out of my way again. It's in my way. So now we're going to click on Make It. Save. I'm just going to give it the name Cinco de Mayo. Belly cactus. That should have been one of the keywords. What it is now this is going to be, this image before is going to be saved over here in images, so you can go over there and find it. If this is actually a saved project, you have to be a member of Design Space. Like I pay a yearly fee because it's cheaper, but so this is all of the different layers that you're going to be cutting on your Cricut. And right now, so my thing is set up to where I am, oh, what is it called when you, uh, it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it. But anyway, most of yours will probably say 12 by 12. I'm on the one where they test it. But anyway, you just change it to whatever size paper that you're going to be using. But before you do that, I know that I'm going to be making a dozen of these. So you'll click apply and it's going to give you, it'll show you a dozen on each mat. Sometimes it takes a while because it's a really big, thing. So here, I don't need a full sheet of paper. I can use scraps here, whatever you want to do. Same thing with here. Like you can also move things around. So here, this is fine. I can use, I'm just going to put an 8.5 by 11. Oh, that's because this has a big mat. You don't want anything past a 12 by 12. Or you're going to have the machine will require you to use a bigger mat, which is a 12 by 24. I have both, but there's no reason to do that. The only time I really use a 12 by 12 is, or a 12 by 24 mat is if I'm doing something super large where I have to, because my paper doesn't come in 12 by 24. I have to special order 12 by 24 paper. I know Cricut sells it, Joanne Fabrics. If you live near me, only the Joanne Fabrics over in Brandon that I've ever seen has it. Or not Joanne Fabrics. Yes, Joanne Fabrics is the only place I've ever seen the 12 by 24. Now I know they just launched a new machine. I haven't been in Michael's in a really long time. It's all the way on the other side of town, which we are getting one on our side of town in Lakeland, Florida, if you live near me. But I don't know if they have this paper or not. But for the most part, your machine comes with a 12 by 12, and but you can pick what size paper you're using. So I'm just going to say 8.5 by 11 for this one. The next one down. So this one, the black. Now, one thing that Cricut does not do is save you space on your paper. They do not save you space on your paper at all. And the reason being is they don't know if you're going to use something like here we're just using black. And yes, the computer knows that to show you the color black, but you could be using pattern paper here. And if you flip this sideways to make it fit, then because you can move these around, like I can move this around and make more space or make it more cost effective for me to cut it. I definitely know this is probably going to take up at least a 12 by 12. So, well, let's see. I do have, let me think. I have, let me look. Okay, so I do have black cardstock in 12 by 12, but my black cardstock it has white core. So I think, yeah, I'm still going to go with 8.5 by 11. Let's see how many sheets it'll take if we do 8.5 by 11. Sometimes it's slow catching up. See, like right here, you know that you can fit more. So I'm going to show you how that works. You can come on this page. You can go to these three dots right here, click on Move Object, and we're going to move it over here to this first one. We'll make it fit in here somehow. Same thing with these little mustaches. A ton of them can fit down here. Not a ton, but you know, you can move things around. Because we don't want to waste our paper. Now see, this doesn't fit, but you can turn it sideways and it will fit in these little cracks and crevices to fit your paper. So you're not wasting, because that is one of the things about your Cricut. You will waste a lot of paper trying to cut some of these designs. Some people are some designers that design the projects are, you know, they try to think about that when they're designing, and then others don't think about that. I don't know, maybe they have an unlimited supply of paper. I have no idea, but I'm gonna try and squeeze every little bit in as I can. Now, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't care. I just want to get it done. Whatever it be, I'm just gonna show you how you can move some stuff around to get more bang for your buck. So here we're gonna go back over here. We're gonna move the object again, move another object to that same piece of paper or cardstock. So now we have another one we can add there. And then we're going to go back down here and grab that last one off that sheet and put it on this sheet. What did we do wrong? Oh, here it is. One thing I don't like is that Cricut will hide things behind the other one. You might have to move everything around to find it sometimes, but it's worth it to save, you know, your paper, especially as expensive as cardstock is getting nowadays. Like for all of us at Stampin' Up, we're suffering. They just raised the price again. So I think these are okay. So I'm not going to fit another one of these guys on there. So now you just want to make sure that nothing's touching. Normally, if it's touching, um, it might, sometimes it'll show you in red, but if you go like this, you can kind of tell if things are touching. as long as they're not behind the cactus or something. So that's good. So here you see, by doing that, we saved a whole entire piece of paper. Now what's going to happen is Cricut will not, you don't even, they'll just skip right over this once we hit continue. They'll skip right over this page, but we still have 2 pages here that we can move around. So we're going to move these 3 over to the other page as well. Now, this was the first page we did. Now we're going to move it to this page because this one is blank. Sometimes, so you can see how it turns it red if it's over there. Like if it's touching something, it's going to turn it red. Or if it's out of bounds, it'll turn it red. But we can move this one down, and this one can be moved up a little bit. Now this one's fine. It's not touching. It's just you could even move it down a little bit if you wanted. It's not touching necessarily. They consider this square box, but it's okay. See, when you click off it, nothing's touching. I'm going to go ahead and move this guy down because we're going to bring in some more. So we're going to go all the way down to the last page. We're going to move this little guy to this page. And see, this is the current page that it's coming from. See how it says current right there? And this is where we're moving it to. Okay. And then we can move this one down just to try and slide that in. And then we're going to go ahead and move that last one to here. So see, we just saved 2 whole sheets of paper just from moving things around. Now you got to make sure they're not touching, because if they're touching, then it'll mess up your design. Because the machine will cut it, even though you say, I mean, even though it knows it's touching, it will cut it and it'll mess it up. So make sure they're not touching. Click off and look and see if anything's touching, and I think that's okay. So now we're going to go on to the next color, because see, we just saved another whole sheet of black. Here we're on this brown, which is this brown? What is this? I actually think this should have been black. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want this to be black, and I'm going to I'm going to show you why. I have the picture over on my other computer. Shoot. That piece is this, and that I didn't catch that when I was making it, is this right here. So I want it to stay black. I don't want it to be brown. I don't know why that is like that, but so what I'll do is I'll change this to 8.5 by 11. And just to speed up the video, I will change this to black. Like I know that this says that this is brown, like, but I know that I'll put it in black cardstock. Now I could go through here and individually move all these and fit them on these other black pieces, but for the sake of the video, I'm not going to do that because it takes too long. There's a way to change the colors, and I'll show you in another video someday how to do that. But I just wasn't paying attention to that, so I missed that. But we're going to go in here. We're going to change this one to, let's see. I do have yellow cardstocks in 12 by 12. You have to make sure you have the right sizes in cardstock. So 8.5 by 11. I do have yellow. Oh, I didn't mean 8. I didn't mean 8.5 by 11. I meant 12 by 12. If you do 12 by 12, it's always just faster. Like, you have, I mean, it depends on if you have, like for me, the way Stampin' Up! Sells their 12 by 12 cardstock right now, which I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I get almost all of my cardstock from there. Not saying that I get all of it because when it comes to 12 by 12, I stopped buying it there because they started doing color packs. They are going to start doing, I think, individual colors. We don't know when because they brought on the Close to My Heart scrapbooking company. They're bringing on all those, they call them makers instead of demonstrators. So um, the paper that I have, I've either had for a long time or um, you know, I'm going to go ahead and use this one. But sometimes I think about, do I really need a 12 by 12? Because this stuff right here, I can cut an 8.5 by 11 and I can replace my 8.5 by 11 cardstock easier than I can my 12 by 12. So I think I will keep this. Let's see, what was this? How many pouch? Yeah, it's only 2 sheets, so I'll keep it 8.5 by 11. So now we're going down to the green. And this one, I'm trying to think, what color do I want to do? I think I'm gonna do this one 8.5 by 11 because I have some retired cardstock that I'll probably use in an oak color that I need to use up that paper. So you just have to give your computer a little bit of time because it is slow. So see, you have all this extra space here. If you had these smaller pieces, you could fit more in here, but for the most part, I'm not going to move it around unless it's a bunch, like just like these right here. There's a lot of space, so let's see what we can do to fix. Sometimes you just can't fix it. I mean, sometimes you just have to roll with it, but here I know I can at least get one of these guys over there. So now I think it was this one right here. This is going to be just like the other one. Those arms make it to where you have to, now you could always turn it sideways too, but sometimes turning it upside down is easier if this part is bigger, but it's not, so I'm just going to keep it the regular way. Okay, so this one looks like it's full. This is the one we just did. So here. See, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes they hide them and you can't find them, so. Okay, we're just going to keep doing that until we get all of our. Okay, what happened? You can also adjust your size if you need to. I don't know what happened to all my green. They disappeared. That's weird. Okay, so it looks like I need to update my computer and that's why it's giving me problems, but that's okay. Well, hopefully it'll let me keep going. Sometimes it won't. It'll give you trouble if you need to update your computer or the software. Like I said, I use my Cricut a lot, but I don't use it every single day, and they probably do updates monthly. So the last time I used this was around Easter time. Now, see, this is not fitting, so we have to try and make room, or we have to move it somewhere else. You can also scoot it over closer like that if you had like smaller pieces. Okay, so you can see that they're not touching, so those are okay. So I'm just going to go through here and just check each one of these green layers. So this one I know is full. This one has a little bit, but we don't have small pieces that we're trying to fit. This is the empty sheet. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these. There's only two up to the one next to it, which is here. Now, by no means do you have to do this. You could, um, yeah, my computer's giving me so much problems right now. It's another reason is because the file is big. Um, I could back out of this and go ahead and update and start over, but I'm trying my best not to do that. See how okay, so you never know where they bring in that one. It's not always in order. But anyway, what I was saying is you could cut this exactly how Cricut. You don't have to try and save paper if you don't want. Like if paper is not an issue to you, you go right ahead and do it that way. But I try to save as much paper as I can. Um, okay, so this is a darker green. Okay, so I want this to be the same color, I think. Yeah, I want all the greens to be the same color, even though they're different colors on the mat. I want them all to be the same color. So I'm going to keep the same color paper, and I have plenty of that paper. So um, we're going to change that to 8.5 by 11. And let's see if there's any way to save paper because so they have 4 on that one, 4 on this one. I definitely know I can move something on this page. Probably these. To here. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so you can move it somewhere else if you want. No. I think about it, was there? I think there was room on this one. Yeah. So that fits. So so I don't make this video super duper long because we're already almost 30 minutes and about 28 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and finish doing this and then I'll come back and show you what I do next. So I'm going to just keep trying to make space on my mat and then I will come back and show you the rest because I know you don't want to sit through me doing all the rest of the pages. So let me do that real quick and I'll come back. Okay, so I know I said I would come back when I was ready to move on to cutting. But I also want to show you just real quick that you can also, so I'm going to go ahead and change this to the 8.5 by 11 cardstock. And see this right here? This is just empty space right here. You're actually, the image that you're going to need is this little circle. Anything that you see lines right here is just empty space. So you could totally make room by taking this and move, well, not that one because it's too big, but all these smaller pieces you can move inside here and say paper if you want. Let me see how many sheets of red I'm going to use because that is a tedious process, but I did want to show you because, sometimes, like here, look, they have 2 rings on here. This sheet, 2 rings. Why are they doing that? So I'm going to leave these how this is, and I'm going to come down here where there's only 2 rings. I'm going to leave that there because it's so much, but I am definitely going to come to the next sheet and I'm going to try and move this. Now, it might be too big. I don't know, but I'm going to surely try before I use 2 whole sheets of paper to waste or to end up in my scrap bin is where it's going to end up. Yeah, it fits. So see, and I'm sure we could fit those other ones on here. I don't know why the Cricut machine does that. That's my only complaint sometimes with my Cricut is that, this is a lot of time to do this. And the thing is once I click off of making it this 12 times, I'll have to do this every single time. So that is something that is time consuming. There are ways around it and I can show you in a later tutorial how to actually save it in the design process. I don't know what happened just there, but we must have moved it to its own. Let's see. Was it sheet? Oh, this thing is giving me so much problems because I didn't update my machine. Red is one of my colors I'm not willing to give up. It's one of my colors I use a lot and I don't want to give it up. Just a waste. So I'm gonna pause and I'll be right back so I can do all this so you don't have to sit through it. Okay, so now we have all of our things how we want them. We're gonna hit continue and you want to make sure that your compute or your Cricut machine is on at this point and it's gonna try and it's right now it's trying to find it. It's gonna ask you to select your maker. Now I know a lot of people do wireless. I never do wireless. I always connect mine USB, and it's just a preference. I think it runs better. I don't have to worry about, any glitchiness with the Wi-Fi. Um, so I always click USB. So I always connect my machine to my computer. So here you can do Bluetooth if you want, but I always do USB. Now I own two machines, and they are both makers. I used to have the Explorer and a maker, and I recently upgraded and sold my old one. There's really no difference in for me, I like to do a lot of fabric also for sewing, and I just like the heaviness of the maker and the options. But you'll have to get into the whole materials of which machine you'll want to purchase. Like if you're just doing paper, or if you're just doing vinyl, then you may not want to spend the extra money for the maker. So that's just, this is kind of a basic tutorial because I really have not done much tutorials on my Cricut, but some of my customers were asking about it. So I thought, why not do a video on it just to kind of give you an idea. It's easier for me to do it like this because I can't just I mean, you can tote your computer and your maker and or your machine all the way to someone's house or to wherever you're going, but it's really difficult and heavy. My machine is heavy and you risk it breaking when you take it somewhere. So anyways, I'm going to click on maker. Now, because I have two of them and I only have one hooked up right now, it's only going to, I don't have to worry about the second one popping up. To do two, you would have to open in another window. And that's a different tutorial for a different day because most people don't have two. So here you're looking for what kind of cardstock. You click on browse to get all these. These are the ones that I have saved. So for Stampin' Up! Cardstock, it's a pretty heavy cardstock. It doesn't ever, I don't know that I've ever known the exact weight for it, but I do the 80 pound, 216 GSM, and it cuts most. Now, it doesn't always cut Cricut or Stampin' Up! Paper real crisp and clean. There's something about the paper. It's not like the paper at Michael's or, made by Cricut. It's not, it's made for card making. So sometimes it doesn't always cut as clean as other cardstocks, just to keep in mind. But I think it's just certain colors. But I would click on the 80 pound. And then over on my machine, it's going to have a flashing button and it's ready to take this right here. So I will put the white piece of paper. You see it's white, and I will put it on the mat, and then it's going to cut out all of these circles right here. So that is a long process because we have, let's see how many mats we have. Um, 21 mats we have. So because we have 21 mats, that means that's 21 times I have to go in and go out and place the paper. So I'm going to totally do that off screen. Um, and then I will come back for part two of the assembly of the project. Okay. Okay, so I have all my pieces cut. It took about an hour and 25 minutes to cut. Now I'm making 12 of these, so, and some of the things I cut over again because sometimes I didn't like how it didn't come out clean enough for me. One thing I had to do was it came with these two pieces and this. Now, I followed her video on how she puts things together, and it didn't include this. It included a piece like this. So I'll have to go back and show you a tutorial some other time on how to, basically what I did was I fused these together to come up with this piece. So you won't need this little piece right here. If you buy this or purchase this, and you could probably message her and tell her that, and she will fix it for you. It's just, I know how to fix it. It's faster, whatever. So right now I'm heating up my glue gun because you will need that. And then these are the ornaments that you get. And they come in a 2-pack, or like basically like a front and a back. I'm not sure. I think these are the same, but you don't need to be able to put them together. You just need for them to lay flat. So, but there is, when you buy them, it'll come with a front and a back that goes into each other in case you want to make something a completely round thing. But for this tutorial, we only need half of one of those. Like I said, you can get these at Dollar Store or Dollar Tree during Christmas season. They sell them at Hobby Lobby, Walmart during Christmas season, Michael's during Christmas season, any of those places. So I'm going to try and keep to how she put it together. I did do a few things different than her, but I'm going to try to keep it fairly similar to her video. So you have this round piece right here, and then you're going to have this piece. You're going to insert this in here and all three of the little slots. And what you want to do is you want to try and get it in all three of these slots as even as possible so it will lay flat. Okay? Then there is a score line right here. You're going to peel that back. And we're going to glue it shut. You don't want to do too much glue. You want just enough to where it's not oozing too much. Close that down. Okay, so this is where the candy is going to go in. This is like I said, the opening that so they can reuse this and re-put candy back in it. This is how that works. So this will be the very bottom of the project. Now this is where I'm changing up how I'm doing this. I'm still letting I think it's hot enough. So she basically went and put dimensionals on here. She makes her own out of cardstock. I have my Stampin' Dimensionals like these. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead. So this is the opening side. It's going to go this way. I'm going to go ahead and put my dome down. She puts regular, I don't know what kind of glue she's using, but she puts it right on this. From my experience from doing other ones like this, I just lay my dome straight down on here. I don't mess with putting any glue like that, and I just glue all the way around. Now, I got to get, I'm going to try not to get in the camera, but I got to be able to kind of see here. I put a little dollop there just to kind of hold it in place. You want to make sure this is even all the way around as much as you can. You're not going to see this, so don't be worried about it, and just glue all the way around give a good healthy line of glue all the way around. Make sure you're pressing down so it takes hold. I have a little silicone mat over here that carries all my drip. So you're going to let this dry. I'm going to kind of set it to the side and put something. Let's see, what can I put on here that's not going to fall off? Let me see if this will work. It's not good. I can't set anything on there. It's just, you want to make sure that it's stuck to the paper. But I'm going to set it to the side and let it dry. Now I'm going to move on to, you want to get this black piece here, your glue, and we're just going to start layering it up. This is actually pretty quick and easy once you get it going. Like I did like a little assembly line. The hardest thing is the little shakers that go in his hands. So then you're just going to place this white piece over his eyes. And then you're going to put dimensionals on here. Now, you don't necessarily have to do this. You can put, just glue it to the back if you wanted. But the dimension is going to give you a little bit thicker, like this right here, a little bit wider area to glue on top of your dome. So just kind of think about that. Okay, now you're going to find the green piece, and I'm going to flip it over just to make sure I have it going the right way. I got little glue strings here. I think that's fine. It really doesn't matter too much. Just make sure you're lining this up, because you don't want this down here to be longer or shorter. You want it to be about even for later on when you're gonna glue this to the top of your dome. So that's the back. We're gonna flip him over, and then we're going to get the piece with the arms, and you want to make sure that that matches up so you have the right way. You're going to poke these little things out. Make sure that these are kind of creased a little bit so you can get your hand in there, because that's where your little shakers are going to go. What are those things called? Moroccos or Moroccans? Whatever they're called. Now you don't want to glue that flap down, but you want to make sure you get glue around it. Okay, make sure it's good and lined up. Sometimes it gets off a little bit. It's not hard to line up. It's just hard to line up without getting glue on everything. And I just take my, where's it at? I might take your pick and just kind of go ahead and scrape that glue out of there. But this glue dries clear, so you're not going to see much of it. Okay, so now the way she did it was she used dimensionals. Again, she just glued a bunch of paper together. I'm going to use mini dimensionals, and I've actually cut the mini dimensionals in half for the really smaller pieces, but for this one right here, I just lined it up really well. And over here, I just did like 3 going down the middle. And then 1 up here at the top. You don't have to worry about this. You won't see it once you put his hat on. I think I did 1 up here. Like these are the full size mini dimensionals. And then I'm going to use some half ones on these little skinny areas out here on the edge. This is probably the most tedious part. This and putting those little shaker bits together. Or Moroccos, whatever you call them things. Now we're just going to remove those. Little backings on there. I went to Walmart and didn't see a single thing for Cinco de Mayo. I guess you have to go to like Party City. I have a red tablecloth because I'll do like a whole table display, but I couldn't find any. Like, I thought they had them online, but they didn't have them for in person. Now this part right here, I just try to line it up at the bottom first. Don't go smashing it down until you get those lined up. And then I just kind of smash it on the top. Okay. Now we're going to do, let's see. Let's do the hat. So the hat is going to be like the round piece at the top. And all I did was sponge this in the Daffodil Delight ink. It's a little bit darker than this. I think this one is pineapple. The yellow is the pineapple something. It's a retired color I've had in my stash. But you want the circle to go down, and then you're going to lay this on like that. We're going to put dimensionals, and I'm going to do regular dimensionals on the back. Wait a minute, let me get it right. I want my sponging to show. So the bigger one, the one that looks more like a banana, I guess, you'll bring that all the way down. Get it lined up here. Now for this one, I just glued this one down. The top layer, I just glued it down. And that's how she did it in her video as well. The next piece is going to be this one that looks like it has little holes and a zigzag. And that's just going to go from corner to corner. Then you're going to have a little piece that looks like that. Another zigzag. It's going to go from corner to corner. Then you'll have a little red piece that looks like this. Well, if I can get a hold of it, like that. Okay. Now I'm gonna wait to put that on. I'm gonna put this on first. So the next one is gonna be, if you look at this like it's a collar, like the two little points are at the bottom. And so you're just covering up some of this down here. Lining it up. Then you're going to have one more piece. You want the arch side to be down. This just adds an extra layer and it makes the collar a little sturdier, but it just goes across the top. And this is what I was saying, it kind of looks like a shirt collar right there. So now you're going to get your little mustache. You can use a bone folder, but my bone folder is kind of thick, so I'm just going to use a little like thin ruler and kind of roll up his little mustache. Give it some glue. Okay, so now we're just going to kind of eyeball where we want to put his hat. I'm going to put my thumb there, and I'm just going to, that's why I said up here, it really doesn't matter. All this is going to be covered up anyway, so if you put your dimensionals up there, maybe you don't have the minis, that's fine. I'm going to set this, I'm going to put some weight on it. I'm just going to use one of my Stampin' Blocks, put some weight on it, and set that to the side. So now we have this piece. We're coming back to this. Now you can see, you can go around. There's no gaps in there. This is going to be covered up. You won't even see it. So now we're going to put dimensionals on the outside of, I'm using the regular ones. You can use whatever size you want. Now, like if there's a clump of glue somewhere, don't put the dimensional on top of the clump of glue. Or if it like goes over like this one is, you can just chop it off so you don't see it. I'm using these because these have a little bit more height dimension than the minis, and they cover a lot more space. I'm just working my way around. Now like I said, she used paper. She stacks her paper and glues it together and uses that for the dimensionals. That's a smart thing to do with your, like that extra piece that you always cut off whenever you're cutting you have your 8.5 by 11, and whenever you're cutting your inside card base for your cards, you usually cut them at 4 by 5 1/4. There's always that little strip. That's what she's doing, is she's gluing that strip. I don't so much think she makes cards, but she probably just buys the cardstock and makes the strips. Again, if there's lots of glue there, just cut this off, because you don't want it to be at an angle. You don't want your dimensional to sit like that. You want your dimensionals to be flat. So that's, I'm just going around and just picking. Now you don't even have to use dimensionals if you didn't want. You could glue this right on, but it's just, it will sit better on the dimensional than it will on, you could also, like these, I have these little strips here. You could use these instead. These are my old scissors. I use these just for cutting stuff like this. Anything with adhesive. But you could use like these little skinny pieces. Okay, so let me make sure that I've got all my foam pieces. This one. Then you're going to have this red ring that's going to just go over top of it just to hide all the ugly. And then you're going to take your guy is going to go right on top like that. Now, you have to be prepared to hold this and be ready to let the hot glue cool while you're holding it, because there's nothing to hold this up. But it normally doesn't take very long, a few seconds. Maybe a minute. Now, in my mind, I was thinking these would be taller. They're about... the top of his hat, they're not quite 5 inches tall. Okay, so I wanted to get hard candy to fill these, or I didn't want chocolate. I wanted something that was going to not melt. But I was also trying to find something that stuck with the colors as well. So, I couldn't find, I wanted now-laters. You know, the green now-laters? Those are like my favorite. So I'm just going to go through here. I'm going to pick out like the red ones. I'll probably divide those up. Okay, so we're going to just fill one and see how much candy fits in here. Let's see if I can get my... and my little tweezers. This probably isn't going to be the best opening, but I've never used this one for her candy, but yeah, see, it broke, but thankfully there's three of them, so if one breaks, you know, it is what it is. But let's see, I'm putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Jolly Ranchers in there. Actually, that's too many, so Let me see. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so I ended up with 4 Jolly Ranchers and 4 of the Starbursts that fit in there. So about 8 pieces of candy. I probably could have fixed or fit a few more pieces in there, but I just wanted to have it in there loosely because of the bottom. Also, just a tip. After I went back and made a half a dozen or a dozen of these, I realized that don't put glue over the tab when you're gluing it, when you're gluing on the other side, because that was what was keeping me from actually removing that tab out of there. So keep the glue away from those tabs and you should be okay with opening and closing it and making it a reusable treat box. I hope you enjoyed this project and have a happy Cinco de Mayo. Bye. Have a blessed day.